Hi friends, this is Julie Golding-Page, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in St. Stephen, New Brunswick, Canada, along the tidal Scoodic or St. Croix River, the traditional territory of the Passamaquoddy, and I'm grateful that they share this beautiful place with us. Today I have a free class for you every third Wednesday of the month. On Watch It Wednesday, I do offer a free class for you, and so let's get right to our cards. All right, you can see a sneak peek of all the cards here. And these are super simple cards. You only need one color of ink, although you can change anything up as you wish, of course. And when you place an order with me anytime in the next week of $75 or more before tax and shipping and after your rewards are deducted, and if you're not sure how to calculate that, just let me know. But a $75 order, I will send you absolutely free, including the shipping, the packets to make these cards. So you would just supply the ink and the stamps to do the sentiments, and all the other pieces will be provided for you. So if you want to take advantage of that, you can always send me off a message or just go ahead and place your order, and I'd be happy to send these to you. All right, so here's all our cards for today. Let's start with this one. These all feature a really beautiful paper pack that is called the Nests of Winter paper. And that came out last year, and it all has to do with birds. So you can see this is from the same sheet, but a different part of it. So this one has little chickadees, this one has cardinals, and it has kind of this snowy bit on the back. To make this green panel, what I did was I embossed it. So I'll also emboss it for you if you get the card packets from me. This is called So Swirly, and it's a really lovely embossing folder. I find it super useful on a lot of cards, as you can see here. And this card has very few pieces, so let's get right to it. All right, so I've got all these pieces so you can see exactly what you get in your little packets. And I'm going to start with the stamping. I like to do the messy part first. So this one has Merry Christmas, so we're going to put Merry Christmas, and I'm using Ornamental Christmas. So this is a really nice set, and I'm just going to get out my Merry Christmas stamp here, and we're going to use a very simple color, and that is Tuxedo Black. Just keep it super, super easy and simple. So here's our Tuxedo Black. I like this particular Tuxedo Black because it plays nicely with our alcohol markers called Stampin' Blends, and it won't make them run when you color over the black. So I really like this black for that reason. There's my black coverage. Let's see, let's give that a little more, and then we will just go ahead and stamp right in the middle here. So I would love to hear from you today, and tell me where you're watching from if you don't mind. And also, I'd love to know what your favorite local bird is. So you can see some of the birds here. We have all the birds on the papers around here. I personally love cardinals. I love blue jays and chickadees as well. So it's hard to pick just one. There we go. We got that all cleaned up for later. And we're just going to close our stamp pad here so we don't have an ink disaster. And then I'm going to take my basic white cardstock and stick it to this piece of real red cardstock. Oh, and I should say, everything you'll see in my videos is all from Stampin' Up, unless it's something Stampin' Up does not sell, and then I'll tell you, like a hole punch or something like that. I love all their adhesives. I have not had any problems with them drying out or cards falling apart or anything like that. I find it's really important to have good adhesives, and that's one of their strengths for sure. So we're just going to take this little panel here and put this adhesive on. Oh, I should tell you, that's Stampin' Seal, and it is a tape glue. You can also get refills for it that are a fair bit less than the actual dispenser. So that's what I do. I just keep refilling over and over again, the same ones. And let's see, try to put this kind of equidistant here from the edges. There we are. And let's see, I just put that flat on my card base. So this is a basic white thick card base. It's just half an 8.5 by 11. And I'll use my bone folder to give it a nice crisp fold. And now I'm just going to glue on my panel here, and we'll just finish putting everything on the card, and then we'll be all done with this one. It's really simple. It's great for multiples if you're looking for an easy card to make for your Christmas cards or other holiday cards. This one is super easy because it's really simple to put together. Okay, so now on this card, I put the red piece down from the top, but I don't want to cover all of the chickadee, so I think maybe what I'll do is put it up a little bit more, just so I won't cover that chickadee right there. Otherwise, I'd be covering its face, and I'm not really thrilled with that effect. So it all depends on what piece of the paper you have. Now, these are my Stampin' Dimensionals, and I like to use every last bit of them because they're all equally sticky. So why not get your money's worth? That's what I figure. All right, here we go. So I'll just take the little papers off there, and we'll stick that down and arrange it. You could put it there, but I think it looks better up here. Kind of like that. And then you can see I have these cute little stars. But they're actually snowflakes, but they look kind of like stars or snowflakes, so they're called faceted snowflakes. And they come in these three colors, so like in a blue, green, silver, and a red. So I'm going to use the blue-green here because my background piece here, this green card, is actually shaded spruce. I think I might have made a mistake in my blog post, which you can click through to and see all my supplies. I think I said it was garden green, but actually I'm just realizing now it is not garden green, it is shaded spruce, so I'll have to try to remember to fix that afterwards. But these are the cutest little things, aren't they? I really like them. All right, so there is card number 1. Super simple. All right, so let's put that off to the side, and we'll go on to card number 2. So here's my next one. I'll just move my supplies out of the way. You can see how quick these are. So this one is also using the Nests of Winter bird paper. So really, really cute. And we're going to go ahead and stamp first, just like before. So I've got a piece of basic white cardstock here. And this time we're going to put "'Tis the Season" on there. So let's get that stamp out. "'Tis the Season." So if you're interested in seeing all the different supplies I'm using here, if you click through where it says "Learn More," it'll take you to the blog post that I wrote about this class earlier today, and it has a full supply list with pictures, so you can see exactly what I used. All right, let's see. I'm just going to stamp that right there, kind of in the middle. Another good thing about this Tuxedo Black ink is the stamp pad is made differently from Stampin' Up's other stamp pads. Their other ones are foamy, so that they easily squish when you stamp on them. This one is a fabric one, and so when you're using the raised rubber stamps like this one, you don't get that outline so easily all around the edge and then unwanted ink on your project. So I find that a really good thing about this stamp pad as well. Having said that, Stampin' Up is discontinuing the red rubber stamps, if you can believe it. They're going all to the clear photopolymer. All right, here we go. So here's all the other pieces of our cards. So let me just take this base, which is Crumb Cake, one of my very favorite colors. It's such an unassuming color, but so appealing, and it looks good with so many things. You can see it's got kind of a fleck in it. Really nice color. And we're going to take our sentiment and glue that to our basic black panel piece here. And I think I'll use the multi-purpose liquid glue this time. I always use the fine tip. I find the broad tip is just too big. I never need that much glue on anything. And I find that I get plenty from the fine tip, so that's what I always use. And I think I'll put it on the back of my paper as well over here, and then they'll both be ready to go. So you can see I'm just using a little tiny line of glue for both of those. I'll hold them up so you can see. See, just a little bit of glue, and that's plenty, maybe even too much. So let's put that down. There it is. So that one's done. And then we'll take this piece with the birds and put that on as well. All right, so there we go. Those are all done. So now we can pull out our card base and we'll layer our card together. So I like to lay it out first, just so I know where everything's going to go and there are no surprises. All right, and then that'll be down here. Okay, that's about right. So again, I'm going to use the multi-purpose liquid glue here. I like that for this kind of a card because with the multi-purpose liquid glue, you can kind of wiggle it around a little bit, whereas the tape glue is less forgiving. So I just find it's helpful for that reason. Let's just glue this one too while we're at it. The one thing I would say about this glue is it's really super good, and it needs to have the cover replaced as soon as possible after you're done with it. If you leave it off, it'll dry up on the tip, and while you can easily fix it, it's kind of annoying when you have to do that, so I always try to put the cover back on just as soon as I can. Okay, let's see if we got this relatively straight here. That looks pretty good. We're going to take our other piece here and put it on the bottom. Now you see I've got this nice little jaunty ribbon, and that is this ribbon. It's called Real Red Shiny Ribbon. So it does have a shine to it. You can see it there on the camera. And I like to tie right on the spool. We only need a little bit, and I'm just going to tie it once like that. That's all I'm going to do. That's all I need. And that'll stay plenty secure. So I'll just cut an angle there. And I'll cut it at an angle over here as well. And that's all the ribbon that we need right there. So this is the waste from tying it right on the spool. Very, very little. So again, this is called Real Red Shiny Ribbon. And yes, it is shiny. I find it ties really nicely for you too. So that's also nice. And I find the best thing for putting on ribbon is to use these mini glue dots, also from Stampin' Up. And what I do is I simply place the little knot down on the glue dot, lift it up, and the glue dot is on the back there. You can see that shiny bit, that's the glue dot. And then you can simply place it down wherever you want it. And while the multi-purpose liquid glue, or any liquid glue, will hold ribbon, it does take a very long time to dry and it can be very messy. So I prefer to use these little glue dots because they stick immediately and very easily too. All right, so on this one, you see we have the 2 here and 1 here of the embellishments. And those are the red version of these faceted snowflakes. So that's what we're going to use. Let's see what we can do. And there are a couple different sizes. So we're going to go with one here. And that was a small one. This one is the larger one, and I'll show you after up close so you can see. And then I'm going to put I guess a larger one over here. It doesn't really matter. You can mix them up however you like, but that's what I did. So that's the end of that card. Very, very simple. You can make a lot of them in a short time. No die cutting in either card. The first card I did a little bit of dry embossing, but you don't have to do that either. You could just leave that off. And here's the final card. Super simple, but a really pretty result. So let's see. We're going to stamp first, just like usual. So I just have this little piece of white. And we'll get our stamp out. Okay, here's our stamp. Now, is this going to fit on our block? Oh yeah, it is. I just put it diagonally and that'll work. All right, so let's load it up with the black ink. All right, and then we'll try to stamp on here as best we can. And we'll see how we did. The good thing is you can always flip over your piece of paper if it doesn't work the first time. Yeah, mine was a little off. See, it was up too high. Let's see if I can do better. This one I knew it would be a little tricky because my stamp is a little bit more to the top than the bottom, and I forgot about that. So let's move that down just a little. Okay, sorry, my hair's in the way there. I haven't had it this long for a while, so I'm not used to it getting in the way of things. Oh, there, that's perfect. That's great. Okay, lovely. All right, let's close up our stamp pad again. I'll move my stamp out of the way. I'll clean that up later. And we're just going to use the scissors to make a little angled cut on each end, just to fancy it up that last little bit there. There. Isn't that cute with a little bit of an angle on both ends? And we'll take those little pieces of paper away. Now we can put together the rest of the card. So I ran out of this exact piece of the paper, so I selected another one that would work just as well. And on the back of this, you've got all these little plants with birds as well. So also nice, you could use either set actually, either side I mean. But I think I'll go with this one with all the different birds. So this time I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal, and I will put that piece onto my panel. My panel is Cherry Cobbler, which is a very pretty color. Very seasonal sort of color for the holidays. Okay, there's that. Now I have my gray granite card base here, already pre-scored in the middle with my scoring tool. And I should mention the Stampin' Up! Trimmer comes with a cutting blade and a scoring blade, so you can also pre-score your cards when you have that trimmer. All right, and I'm going to use my dimensionals on the back to pop it up a little. I love these things. They're probably my favorite adhesive. I find them the easiest to use. Now it looks like I didn't bring over any other big ones, but I'll use this sheet of smaller ones that I do have. And I'm using just the edges again. Might as well get your money's worth. So I will get all those papers off. And then we will add this to our card base. All right, so now we're going to take our sentiment and flip that over. And I do recommend the smaller Stampin' Dimensionals here because they fit so nicely on this little piece of paper that's only 1/2 inch tall. So I'm just using 3 of them on the back there. What I will say though is the papers on the backs of them are a little harder to remove, so just be aware of that. But you can also use this tool. This is the Take Your Pick tool. So it has this side that helps with moving little things around, like little embellishments. And this end is good for die cutting, poking out little things. And also, you can use it to lift up your paper on your dimensionals. So it's also good for that. It's a really great tool. Again, it's called the Take Your Pick from Stampin' Up! Really nice little thing. Okay, so coincidentally, this sentiment can fit in this big empty space here, but if you place your order of $75 or more with me and get the free class that I've shown you today, your paper might have a slightly different pattern of birds, and you might want to put it up here or over here. Like, it all depends on the pattern itself. But I think on this one, this is probably the best place to put it. All right. And on this card, we are going to use the silver snowflakes. So let's see where we'd like to put those. I think maybe one there. And another over there. And where would we like the third one? Well, let me see. Maybe over here, kind of like that. That's kind of nice. So that is the end of our card. Very simple but elegant. And I'll bring the others back so you can see all of them together. So there's card number 1, card number 2, and card number 3. And once again, if you place an order of $75 or more with me in the next week, all the details are in my blog post. You can just click through to that. Then I will send you the materials to make all these 3 cards absolutely free, including the shipping of these card packets. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I hope you really enjoy these cards, and I hope you're having a really good beginning to the holiday season. Thanks again. See you next time.